Before anything was named, something was already watching. Not a human, not a creature of clay or dust, something of a different order. An order the scriptures record in 9 distinct ranks, each one closer to a brightness the human eye was never built to hold. Most people picture one kind of angel, wings, a message delivered to a frightened shepherd. But that is only the last rank. There are 8 others, each one older, each one carrying a different fire. You are about to pass through all of them. Level 1, the Seraphim. You are eternal. The throne room has no ceiling, and the ceiling was never the point. The prophet Isaiah sees this in the year King Uzziah dies, the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 1. And you are above the temple, in the part of the vision he can barely put into words. 6 wings, 2 cover your face, because even you cannot look directly at what you are closest to. 2 cover your feet, 2 carry you through space with no measurable dimensions. Seraphim means burning one, not burned, burning. Present tense, you do not carry fire. You are fire, and the combustion is worship, and worship is the only thing that holds its shape in a place this holy. The sound that leaves you is not music and not speech, though it contains both. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. The doorposts shake when you say it. Isaiah falls to the ground because he is a man of unclean lips, standing at the centre of what you have never left. You do not count the moments. You burn. You sing. You wait. The wait is not an absence. It is everything. Level 2. The Cherubim. You are first. The garden is behind you. It has been behind you since the exile, since the man and the woman walked out through the eastern gate, and you were placed in front of it, holding the flaming sword that turns in every direction. The one the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 24 says, was set to guard the way to the tree of life. You remember the sound of God walking in the cool of the evening, the sound they used to run toward. You hold that memory against the silence that replaced it. Ezekiel sees your order in chapter 10, and the description is not soft. 4 faces, human, lion, ox, eagle. 4 wings, hands beneath the wings. The appearance of burning coals moving among you, lightning flashing from the fire. The Ark of the Covenant carries your image, hammered from a single piece of gold, wings spread above the mercy seat. You stood guard over the most sacred object in Israel's world, and before that, over something more sacred still. The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 7, promises the tree of life to the one who overcomes. You have been standing here for all of human history. You do not lower the sword. Level 3, the living creatures. You are the boundary. Ezekiel is in Babylon, a priest in exile. When the sky opens and you come out of the north in a great storm cloud with fire flashing continually from it, 1 of 4. 4 faces each, moving without turning, straight in whatever direction the Spirit goes, because the Spirit is in you and the Spirit is in the wheels. The wheels. A wheel within a wheel. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 16. The rims are high and terrible and full of eyes all around. You are also covered in eyes. Sight is not something you do. Sight is what you are. In Revelation chapter 4, John sees your order surrounding the throne. The lion, the ox, the human face, the eagle. Day and night you do not rest. You speak the holiness, and when you speak it, the elders fall and the crowns come off, and the silence before the throne becomes the loudest thing in all of creation. You are the living edge, the place where the material world ends. What passes through you cannot be named. You carry it anyway. Level 4. The thrones. You are the foundation. Something carries the throne of God. You are part of what carries it. Daniel sees the Ancient of Days in chapter 7, verse 9. The throne is fire. The wheels are burning fire. A river of fire flows from before the one who sits. And beneath all of it, beneath the fire and the judgment, you are there. The stability that makes the throne a throne. The weight that makes the seat real. Paul writes in Colossians chapter 1, verse 16, all things were created through him and for him. Whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, you were built into the structure of the universe before any star had a planet turning around it. Every directive that eventually reaches a frightened shepherd in a dark field begins here, passing through you. And something of the authority of the throne travels with it all the way down to the end of the chain. You carry the weight without bending. That is the whole of your purpose. It is enough. Level 5. The dominions. You govern. You do not touch the earth. The orders below you do. You govern the governors. Paul places your rank in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 21, far above all principality and power and might and dominion, the structure that only Christ himself exceeds. You receive from above. You shape into directive. What is infinite becomes organized. What is all-encompassing becomes specific. The right angel, the right field, the right hour, the right province of the right crumbling empire. You are not distant from the earth out of indifference. You are distant out of function. Everything that reaches the ones below you passes through your ordering first. When it arrives correctly. Level 6. The virtues. You are the force. Miracles run through you. When the water at Cana becomes wine and the servants cannot explain what they are holding, there is a line of transmission from the throne to that moment, and you are part of it. When Peter's shadow falls on the sick in Jerusalem, and they are healed. Acts of the Apostles, chapter 5, verse 15. Something moves through the air that is not natural, and you are the channel. Paul names your order in Ephesians, chapter 1. 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 22, places you in the cosmic structure subject to Christ at the right hand of the Father. You do not take credit. Credit is a concern the lower orders learn by watching humans. You carry the force of creation through your hands and release it without keeping any of it for yourself. The miracle passes through. The glory travels on ahead. You open your hands and what was in them is already somewhere else, already doing what it was sent to do. Level 7. The Principalities. You are assigned. A nation is yours, not its sins, its thread, the line of its existence across time, the record of what it was meant to be, and the distance between that and what it became. The prince of the kingdom of Persia is named in Daniel chapter 10 verse 13, a territorial authority who withstood the messenger angel for 21 days before Michael arrived to break through. 21 days. Before a single word could reach a single man kneeling on the banks of the Tigris. Paul writes in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, the struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age. He names the corrupted version of your order. In naming them, he confirms the structure they came from, the structure you still hold. You watch an empire rise, you watch it fall. You do not abandon the watch, not when the century is dark, not ever. Level 8. The Archangels. You are named. Most angels have no name written anywhere in Scripture. You do. Michael Hayoite. Whose name is a question? Who is like God? Stands in Daniel chapters 10 and 12, as the great prince who watches over God's people. In Jude verse 9, he disputes with the devil over the body of Moses. In Revelation chapter 12 verse 7, he leads the armies of heaven, and the dragon is thrown down, and the voice says now the salvation, and the power, and the kingdom of our God have come. His name is not a description, it is a challenge, and every time he moves, the challenge is answered. Gabriel, God is my strength, is sent to Daniel to make an overwhelming vision comprehensible. He tells Zechariah in the temple that he stands in the presence of God, Luke chapter 1 verse 19, and from that position he is sent to a girl in Nazareth in a year when the silence of God has lasted 400 years. You are an archangel. You carry the word that cannot arrive by any rank below you. You cross the distance between the throne and a single human face, and when you arrive, everything changes. You say fear not, because they always need to hear it first. The girl is afraid. Of course she is. You say it. Level 9. The angels. You are here. You are the one they see. Not the seraphim. No human eye was built to hold the seraphim. Not the cherubim with the sword. Not the wheels. You are the messenger in the form most capable of being received, and that form is sometimes fire, and sometimes a stranger sitting beside a well at midday when a woman arrives, carrying everything she cannot fix. Angelus in Greek. Malakh in Hebrew. Both mean messenger. What you are cannot be separated from what you do. You are at the tomb before dawn when the women arrive, and the stone has already been moved. You are in the prison with Peter when the chains fall off his wrists. You are under the broom tree with Elijah when he asks to die. Arise and eat, 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 5. Because the journey ahead is too great for him, and you let him sleep first before you bring the food. You guard the children. Matthew chapter 18, verse 10. Their angels always see the face of the Father in heaven. You minister to the Son of Man after 40 days in the desert, and you know what those 40 days cost him, because you watched every hour. You watched him choose again and again to be hungry, to be cold, to refuse the shortcut. The woman at the tomb asks where they have taken him. You say, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead? He is not here, go." She goes. The world begins to change in a way that has not finished yet. Your part, ancient, specific, unnamed, is done. You fold back into the brightness you came from. The garden is still guarded. The throne is still burning. The wheels are still turning, eyes open, fire moving like lightning. The holiness does not pause. Stories like this one do not survive by accident. Before this video ends, thank you. Truly, you are the reason this channel exists. YouTube removed our monetization and kept running ads on our content, collecting that revenue while we receive nothing. So we created 7 shocking signs that God warns about the end times. Not as a business move, but as a way to keep this information alive without depending on a system working against us. The link is in the description and pinned in the first comment. Support this channel. That link is only available while this video is running. Just as the 9 orders were assigned to carry the word forward through every silence and every age, so are we. And now you are history.